Hey friends, I'm happy to announce that this is my first official video to YouTube! So my goal in creating this channel is to share a special military family project that I started. I wrote and illustrated a book to help children cope with deployment. And I wanted to show you the process of how I created the book. I want to show a few pages from the book, read a section, as well as explain the illustrations and why they're so significant to our lives. So if you're a military family, then you get it. You understand the importance of support and building a community of friends to lean on when you do have to deal with times of deployment or TDYs, or other forms of family separation. Even if you're not a military family and you're watching this, then I appreciate you taking the time to learn more about how military children develop resiliency and cope with deployments. So this is my project. I wrote and illustrated a book to help my children cope with deployment. And as I was writing it, it actually helped serve as a reminder for myself as to why we were dealing with that family separation, and to focus on the positive aspects. This book is narrated by a child missing their daddy and feeling alone. But through the loneliness, the child recalls good memories, they're reminded of the importance of daddy's job, and most importantly, they're constantly reminded that they are still loved despite the distance. Here's a few pages from my story.
Daddy, it's me. How are you? I'm fine. You've been gone a while. I really miss you. I think about you all the time. Before you left, I got extra hugs and kisses. When saying goodnight, you told me to keep my chin up and that everything would be all right. Saying goodbye was really hard. Watching you walk away made me sad. You're a very special guy to me. After all, you are my dad. Daddy, Daddy, I love you. I love you, and I know that you love me. My heart is strong. I'm holding on however far you may be.
This book has been out for a few years now, and I just love hearing the various responses of how people have connected with the story. One common theme that I have heard people say is how difficult it is to get through the first 2 pages without feeling an overwhelming sense of emotion and feeling empathy for the child who feels very lonely. Some people even tell me that they start tearing up and it makes it really hard for them to continue reading the book. And I always respond by telling them that that is your opportunity to tell your kids that you're reading to why you're feeling that way. Tell them that the reason why you're feeling the way you do is that you care for your children so much and you always want them to feel loved, no matter how far away you are from them. It gives you a wonderful opportunity for you to be able to connect with your children as you show these emotions and you express them as well. These are the kinds of responses we want from our children. Instead of just misbehaving and throwing tantrums and crying, you want them to be able to speak their feelings and express themselves through words. And this is a great example of how you can do that for your children. Express your feelings, take advantage of those extra opportunities to sneak in some hugs, and tell your children how much you love them. So believe it or not, I actually had no intention of publishing this book to begin with. I wrote this book for my own children to help them cope when I couldn't find resources that we could really connect to. I looked all over for different books that I could use to help my children express their feelings a little bit better, since they were really struggling at communicating their feelings. We looked on the internet, we looked through the libraries, and we just couldn't find the right book that we could connect to. A lot of the books for military families that we found were Army related. And as an Air Force family, it was really hard to connect with books like that since it didn't describe the job that my husband was doing as he was deployed. It led to a lot of confusion by the end of reading the book, and my children just could not relate at all. The main reason for me sharing this story and publishing it was to put that story out there and make other military children feel less alone. That's the worst part of deployment, is just that lonely feeling, like you are the only one going through this pain, but you're not. And I needed other military children and other military spouses to understand that. I told you about why I wrote the book and the thought that went into the story, but I also want to show a few special aspects of the illustrations as well. Visuals in children's books are so important to me. I wanted these pictures to look like people rather than animation because the story is about real people and not just characters. I had a vision for how I wanted it to look, adding a touch of deployment images to the pictures of the kids at home. I wanted to make it look like the two worlds were blended, and they were always thinking of each other despite the distance. If you're looking for this book, there's two versions that I have available. There's a hardcover and a paperback. The hardcover is available through the Facebook page, and you can find that link below. The binding of the hardcover makes it easier to find in a stack of books, and the quality of the hardcover book paper is due to the paper thickness in the glossy pages. This is the paperback available through Amazon's print-on-demand service. The size is smaller, but it offers the same story and illustrations as the original hardcover book. It sounds so cliche to say please like and save and subscribe my video, but it really does make a difference with our family small business. You're supporting us, and I would appreciate it so much. So if you would, please take the time to do that. Like and subscribe and comment below with anything that you'd like to add. So this book is just one example of many projects that I have going on in my head. And I would love to share my other innovative ideas of how to upcycle items, DIY, do-it-yourself projects. So stay tuned with my channel. Make sure you subscribe and turn on that notifications bell to continue seeing the ideas that I have for projects. I have a project that I'm really excited to share with you all. It's a display for an American flag. It's a special American flag that my husband had flown on missions while he was deployed in the Middle East. When he returned home, he presented the flags to the family. I needed a really special way to present the flags, and I have an idea that I can't wait to share with you all. I appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to my story, and I'm excited to read your comments below about what you thought about my book, and I really look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, bye. Hey friends, I'm happy to announce that this is officially my first video to upload to YouTube. Let's see how that looks. Hey friends, I'm happy to announce that this is my first official video to YouTube. That was wall? Do you like my book? Ring the bell if you like the book. Do you like the book? Ring the bell. Good boy, good boy. So I wanted this book to be personal. Personable. Personable. Oh, personable. Personable. This book to be personable.